Good morning, welcome to iCareiMove, Move More. We are week 10 of our 26 weeks. It's normally 25, but our first week was an introduction to. And if you've only just joined us this week, just, take it easy. You don't have to join in all of it and do what you can. You can sit and watch, you can stand and watch if you're not sure. And we'll send the video out later today or tomorrow, so you can always do it again or do the parts that you haven't done today another time. And we do need you to do some of it as your homework, but we will send you some shorter videos that you can do for your homework as well. As usual, make sure you've got space around you so you're safe. Have a drink of water, and if you do take any sprays or inhalers, please have them close by. If you don't, then you shouldn't be joining in. And if you feel unwell at any time, feel free to sit down, keep your feet moving, let us know if you need to leave the session, and let somebody know that you're not feeling well. Otherwise, let's get going for another week of lovely movement, getting you stronger and steadier. So we're going to hip walk forwards in your chair. Now, how do we hip walk? We lift and shift. We're going to do it again. So we're going to hip walk to the back of the chair. I'm pressing down on my feet and I'm pushing with my feet as well. So I'm lifting my hips forwards one at a time, and then I'm going backwards as well. So this is how we want you to get forwards and backwards in the chair every time. No slipping, sliding, okay? Keep going. Okay, this time we're going to stay at the front third of the chair, and we're going to start with our circulation boost to warm up your body, your joints and your muscles. So let's start with our shoulder raise. Lift up to your ears and just drop down. Lift and lower. Try not to hold your breath. Make sure your feet are wider than your hips, maybe a little bit further forwards than you would think they need to be, so you're steady. You've got a nice base of support, and that will keep you steady and less likely to fall in any position. Excellent. Lift and lower, and lift and lower. Then we're going to come into a heel lift. So I'm lifting one heel and then the other to start moving my ankles, my toes, my knees, hips, working through, pushing the circulation up through my body by using my muscles, the muscles in my calves. So we call these your second heart, because they're big muscles and they can pump the blood through to your heart, to your brain, and stop you feeling dizzy when you stand up. So a little heel pump and breathe. It does help, Okay, feet nice and still into a shoulder circle. So a big circle. Lifting the ears up to, lifting the shoulders up to your ears. You can't really lift your ears to your shoulders, and making a big circle with them. And you might have some little crunches and creaks going on. They should stop hopefully soon. If you need to make that movement a bit smaller, then please do. It should feel quite nice. If you need to just do one at a time, then you can. Lift and circle, lift and circle. Lovely. Back to the heel lift. So a heel pump. So throughout circulation, we try and just keep part of your body moving. And what we're doing is we're raising your heartbeat a little bit, but we're warming up through the joints, muscles, etc. Okay, feet nice and wide. Walk your feet out maybe. If you're standing, take your feet wide and slide your hands down your thighs. Otherwise, hands reach down and use your muscles in your core to lift you up. Lean down, pull up. And if you need a rest, rest at the top. Keep breathing, try not to hold your breath, and try and keep your head in alignment so I'm not kind of overstretching my neck here. So we're being kind to our joints while we warm up. It's really important to warm up, especially if you've just kind of got going in your day. Whatever you do, especially if you're going to, it's time of year to be gardening, to be out and about. So if you do have stiffness or pain, it's a good idea to just work through a quick circulation boost. And I did send a couple of videos to you last week, so hopefully you saw those. and you might have worked through them. Okay, back to the heel march. Now we're going to add in arms. If you're standing already, make sure you're behind a chair or have some support by you. Okay, what does this movement look like? So it's not this, okay? It's not that. Big movement. So see my shoulder. I'm working the shoulder here, okay? I'm not working my elbows here. So we're boosting. So we need to get the blood flowing. Can you do opposite knee to hand? Some people can't. Some people can. When you've got it, you've got it. Some people never can, and it's fine. Do your best. So it's a knee lift by pushing up the heel and opposite hand. Excellent. Excellent. Hold it there. I'm going to come up to standing. If you want to stand, join me. If not, stay seated. Stand up properly. At the top, what do? We pump our heels. Why? To stop us feeling dizzy. Walk around to the back of your chair and just come into a position where you've got support if you need it. If you don't, then that's fine. So back to march. And then start peeling through those feet. And if you don't know how to do that, it's quite kind of lift your knees forwards and you actively then lift, rolling through the feet rather than kind of a stamp, okay? It's like a little bit, if you were a horse, it'd be a dressage type movement. Fabulous. Okay, so I'm standing in front of my chair now. I'm going to keep my hips facing forwards, my knees facing forwards, and I'm just going to slide my hand across the chair and look to one side. Come to the front, slide to the other side. I'll show you face on. So it's like my hips are super glued to the chair because we're aiming to rotate, twist through the waist. If you're sitting, you've got some options. You can slide here, hands up and down the thighs, or you could just support your arms, or if you need to just help one arm, you can come into this movement. We're looking at that rotation, okay? Rotating through the waist at the bottom of the ribs. So lots of different ways you can do that. And if you're sitting, try and keep your knees nice and still, and that takes away that kind of movement of the legs. Okay, hang on, I'm just tangled up. Right, and then back to your march. Always back to your march. If you forget what to do, if you think, oh, I've got to do some homework, come into a march and then just add some bigger knees. Okie dokie. Right, our lovely hula hoop. So bend your knees, hips to the side, forwards and round to the side. Other side, time walk time. You're going to have a little song in your head all day now. We should call this the time walk move, shouldn't we? Can you feel that in your hips? So I can feel it in this hip, especially when I move my hips towards the front. Okay, it's really important to get our hips mobile because when we're doing lots of walking, marching, we're using the muscles at the fronts of the legs, the backs of the legs. Excellent. And then let's go side to side. Push the hip out a little bit. Push out, push out. Fabulous. And then we're going to come to the foot one. So same in seated. Heel toe. So heel on the floor. I'm going to try and get my toes on exactly the same spot that my heel went onto. So heel down, toe down. Why do we do this? We're looking at mobilizing the ankle. I say it all the time. You know, if we need you to walk in a moment, to step, then we have to have a mobile ankle. If you've got a fused ankle, then it's difficult. If you've got arthritis, we still need to keep it moving, even more so, because it's painful. The more mobile it is, the less painful it might be. So really working on pressing the foot forwards, squeezing the toes towards the kneecap. And if you need to take a moment longer to do this, that's fine. Other side. So heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Keep going. Can you lift that knee? Can you point a bit more? Can you flex a bit more? How mobile is your ankle? Is it something you need to work on? Or is it okay? Fabulous. Done. Let's come to a march. So we're moving on to endurance. So we want to get you out of breath a little bit here. It's safe to do that as long as you manage how you feel. So you need to manage how breathless you feel, how fatigued you feel, and we need to keep you at a range about 5, 6. If you've been doing it a while, 7. You can always slow down and stop and just march your heels at any time, or you can always add on some arms. Anything added on with arms will make you a bit more breathless or puffed out. So if at any point you feel like you're doing too much, just come to a little, not even a march, just a heel lift. You can sit down and just heel lift. Okay, so we're going to start with a tap out. I've got my, oh yes, if you're not in standing, feel free to come up to standing and come behind your chair. So a little tap to the outside edge of your chair. Try not to kind of grip on for dear life. You can press down with both hands. You could be between chairs if you feel safer. You could have a chair in front of you and a chair behind you. You can come onto both your fingers, one hand, hover, one finger, unsupported. Okay, so I'm adding in my arms with a tap. So we're week 10 now, almost halfway through. So we're still building your progression, building those gains. And this is where it's important for you to add on in the week. You do need to do your homework. If you do some homework, 10 minutes every day, you'll really see a difference in your balance or your strength, your stability. Keep breathing and then just come to a march. Lovely. So hopefully that's not too taxing. So just watch. I'm stepping. You can join in when you're ready. I'm stepping together and then I'm stepping away together, but I'm always behind my chair or my support. I'm sliding my fingers across my support in case I need to. Remember, you can always step wide if you feel wobbly at any point. Lovely. Okay, same in seated. Same, you can tap out or you can step. Okay, we're going to add in 2 steps. Step together, step together, step together, step together. Now, you can add in an arm, so a squeeze of the fist. You can see I'm alternating so I can still hold on. You don't need to add on arms if you don't want to. If you're happy, you could squeeze both arms, both hands, making a fist, or you could add in this little side raise, which will make you a bit more puffed down. And it's good for your coordination. You could even do alternate arms here. And we always say, we keep saying, write it down. Write down how you feel. Write down how you're getting on. What are your numbers? How tired are you? What are your scores on the doors when we're doing endurance? And I know it will change depending on what we're doing. Some of it is harder. Okay, back behind your chair into the heel lift. Lovely. How puffed out are you? Like 0 to 10. 0, you've just got out of bed. 10, you've just done a marathon. You can't do any more. You need to go to bed. So it should be 5, 6. If you need to take it down, slow it down. Take the arms out. Right, this time I'm going to step over the cat with both feet, not at the same time. One foot lifts over the cat and then the second one does too. Lift, over, lift, over, lift and over. Good. So similar but different. Lift and over, lift and over. Lovely. Keep going. Keep going. Fab. Lovely. Good. And then back to your march. Excellent. Now we're going to lunge. Love a lunge. I'm going to go on one side only. So I'm going to have my chair. Actually, I'll change it to the side. So watch first. Keep your heels moving. Keep your feet moving while you watch, because you need to know what to do, because you don't know what I'm going to do yet. So I'm going to lunge to the front. I can still hold my chair. I'm going to come to the center wide. I'm going to lunge to the side, center, wide. I'm going to go forwards, center. Lovely, Jess. He's marching away. Forwards. Now you can join in. Side. Forwards. And side. So, forwards. If you're steady, you can add in an arm. You could add a little squeeze and a side lift, a squeeze and a side lift. Or you can just stick with the lunge. You could lunge with a chair here. Lots of options. If you're sitting, the same thing. Keep going, everybody. You're sitting at the front of your chair, front third. You're going to step to the front and lean. Come wide, step to the side and lean. Or if you're in standing and you're not used to standing up very much, just standing upright with a great posture is good. And then add in a step forward. So step forward, lunge. Here, other options. So lots of different adaptations. Good. We're going to swap sides. So swap feet. Do what you need to be on the right side. And then start small. You know, you don't have to come into a big lunge, especially if you're not confident with this movement. And just building up our movements will help us to get confident. The more we repeat movement patterns, the more our confidence builds up. So if you're doing it just once a week, that's fine, but you need to keep going. Our brains have memory, our muscles have memory. And we know that what happens is when you've been doing it long enough and it builds, it becomes a habit, a routine. If you were to wobble, you would step sideways. Or you'd step forwards or backwards. We're just going forwards and side for today. How's your breathing? Are you okay? Good. Okay, march it out. March it out. Come behind your chairs or your support. We're going to go alternate. Now, if I had you in the room, in the community, we'd be wandering around the space. We'd be walking and lunging and tiptoeing and all sorts. So we're going to just add on. So keep marching, just watch. I'm going to go forwards lunge with one leg, side lunge. I'm going to change legs. Forward lunge, side lunge. Change legs. Right, you can join in. Forward lunge, side lunge, other leg. Forward lunge, side lunge. Now, some of you who don't have problems with balance or feel quite confident might be able to add in a little bit. And the change is I'm going to step forwards, and rather than put my whole weight on my foot, I'm just tapping and then I step out. So I'll show you again. I step forwards, I just use my toes to tap, and then we swap sides. So step forwards, just a little tap, but only for those of you that feel confident enough to do that. Good. Nearly done. Nearly done. And this gets used to going in different directions with both legs or alternate legs. People who don't look where they're going can quite often bump into you, and they're not being mean, they're just not aware of people around you, around them. I have a friend and she walks backwards, you know, when we're in shops, or she'll come out of somewhere and not look, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, be careful. Right, and into your march. Excellent. How are we feeling? Are we okay? In a minute. We're going to just bring it down. So let's come into side step. Actually, let's do a little side step with a dip, but we're going to slow it down because we want your heart rates to come down a bit, and then you can stop and have a drink. So a wide step, bend. I'll show you from the side. Wide step, stick the bottom out a little bit and hinge from the hip. So I'm still keeping my spine nice and long. I'm not curving or rounding. And my eye gaze kind of drops. I'm looking forward, and as I dip down, I look to the floor, which keeps my head, neck in a good neutral position. Ooh. Lovely. Right, and then we're just going back to a side step. Just a side step, or a tap to the side if you're sitting. Just tap one leg out if you're sitting. That's fine. Bringing your heart rates down. So you should be able to speak to me if I said, how are you doing? Oh, I'm all right, thanks. Not too worn out, but I can still speak. That's what should happen. Okay. Then march, heel lift. Da, da, da. Lovely. Everything's lovely, isn't it, to me? It's all lovely. Okay, feet nice and wide into our wide base sway. 2 hands up if you can. If not, just hold on. Alternate. If you can for now. Feet nice and wide. Pressing up and away. Up and away. Da-da. And then just one hand to one side. Palm faces up. So we've not got any tension through the shoulders. Breathe. No hands. You can shake your hands out if you want. Da, da, da. Or hold on, or just kind of hover. And then back to just a heel lift. And we're going into our balance section. So grab a drink if you need to, because that can make you a bit dry, a bit thirsty. So do grab a drink. And we'll move on to our balance section. So standing again, unless you need to be seated. So we'll give you some options. So we've been doing flamingo, we've been doing tandem, we've been doing reach. So today I want to reach and reach down. So some of our questions that we ask you are, how confident do you feel reaching up into a cupboard or down to get something off the floor? And a lot of you aren't. And there's techniques that help with that. Because if we've got our legs together and we're bending down to pick something up off the floor, that's a long way to go, okay? If I was to step forwards, and we're used to lunging now, and dip down, it's not as far. We're not bending our knees so far. See the difference here? That's quite a big move. So we're going to do what we've just done, but slightly differently. So we're going to lunge So just watch first. So the outside edge of my chair, and you can have it side on or in front of you. Now I'm going to imagine I've got something on a stool in front of me or to the side. So I've stepped forwards. I'm going to reach forwards about 45 degrees, and then I'm going to lean back and either step together and walk backwards or bring this front leg back. So it's up to you. You can either step forwards, reach, bring this back leg in, or step forwards, reach, and bring the front leg back. Try it. Do not rush this. Step, okay? Reach. You're not picking something up off the floor. You're just getting something off a stool. And then step back. If you can step back, that's great, because what does that use? That uses power into the front leg to push off and make sure you come back to that wide base of support. In seated, we're sitting at the front third of our chair. Bring that other leg in a little bit, which makes you a bit balanced if you're not too wobbly to do that. And then we reach forwards, step forwards, and then reach as if you're getting something off a stool still. So you feel quite unbalanced, and then we bring that foot back. Okay, so we're just doing one side for now, and then we'll swap sides, just because you need that, you might need that support near you, next to you. Okay, and you might need to do this when you're getting something out of the cupboard. We've got a big crate, it's not a crate, box with all my Tupperware stuff in, and you pull it out and everything falls down the back. So you've got to get on your hands and knees, or you've got to be able to lunge, reach in, pull it out, or something rolls underneath. I know Anita's sellotape rolled under her kitchen table or something, and she had to do this, get down on the floor, and then you've got to lunge to pick it back up. Okay, let's swap sides. So just take a moment. Take a moment, because this is strong as well. This is strength as well as balance, isn't it? You know, that lunge work is adding strength to your leg. So just adjust your furniture or move around to wherever you need to be and just try it. So just test it out with that other leg. So it's a lunge forwards, and like move your chair if you need to. Start behind your chair so that when you're in that most vulnerable position, you can use the chair to push off if you need to. So it's a step, reach down, 45 degrees, push back, wide base. Reach or step in. Either is fine. Step, reach, pull back, step back. Lovely. Take your time. There's no rush to do this. So think about that power you need to push back. And can you feel that ankle at the back is quite stretched, isn't it? It's quite bent. It's quite flexed, which is why another reason why we need to do that mobility in ankles to start with. So if you're doing gardening for the day, make sure you run through those mobility exercises, the circulation boost. Lovely. Excellent. Okay, and then hold it there. So, shall we do a little walk on our toes and heels? Now, when we last did it, the next day I was like, oh, my shins are hurting, my calves are hurting, so I'm really sorry. But actually, that goes to show that we're really working those muscles. So do what feels okay for you. And if you were the same, then do the same if it wasn't too bad, or just cut it down a little bit if it was too much. But give it a try. So we're going to walk on toes, or step, shall we say. So here's the options. I want you to rise onto the balls of your feet, spread your toes out, and then we're just going to march. Oh, and I can never stay on the spot. And then drop the heels and rest. Come up onto the toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. drop the heels and march it out. Up on the toes, balls of the feet, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down. Same in seated, so just lift your heels and press your weight forwards and down. Just let's do a couple more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Last one. 4, 3, 2, 1. And don't be surprised if you do need to hang on, because I go all over the place doing this. Okay, now this one is the opposite. So lifting the toes, and this is one that you need to be aware that you might need to step back. So if you are a person that kind of falls backwards, you might want to do it. I don't know if you can get me on at the cupboard. Yes, I'm on. Against a cupboard or a wall. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Hay fever. Excuse me. Sorry. Is lifting the toes, keeping your body straight, and then making it so that I've got the cupboard or a wall behind me to catch me if I was going to fall. If you're happy to not have something behind you, think about a nice straight body so you're not sticking your bottom out. That's not going to help anything. It's just a little toe lift, and then we're going to walk 2, 1, toes down. So lift the toes, walk 4, 3, 2, 1, toes out. And I feel like I have to do it quite quickly because otherwise I'm going to go unbalanced. Down. And I don't stay on the spot either on this one. And 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Last one. 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Good. And then let's just do our little Elvis leg, because that can be quite strong into your feet, into your toes. And it reminds me, when I was away recently, I lived that week in flip-flops and open toe sandals, like Birkenstock type shoes. And my ankles were sore and the front of my foot was sore into my shin, and I couldn't understand why until I came home and wore proper like trainers or proper shoes. And I was like, that's why, because you grip on. So all of this work. And just be mindful if you do have sore feet, sore shins, what you're wearing on your feet. Okay, so we're going to go to a bit of strength, and then, and then we'll move on. So come into a seated position. So walk in front of your chair, sit down properly, feel the chair behind your knees, stick your bottom out, sit down. So you should be at the back of your chair. We're going to hip walk to the front. If you need a rest, have a rest. If you're sitting and you don't want to stand, just come into a bunny hop, jockey jump here. Otherwise, we're going to stand up. At the top of that movement, what do? We pump our heels to stop you feeling dizzy. Okay? Feel the chair, walk back, step back. Both your knees feel the chair. Stick your bottom down, out even. Lower down, hip walk in the chair. So this is actually strength. It builds strength in your pelvis, in your thighs, your bottom. Step back, it's good for balance. Feel. Now, this time, we're going to slow it down to sit down slowly. And then we're going to hip walk forwards. And this time we're going to get up slowly. So feet back. If you need to take arms forwards, you can hold on. Otherwise, eye gaze forwards and up. Press through those feet, slowly up, pump the heels at the top. Let's step back. If you're seated, just some bunny hops is fine, and have a rest if you're seated because it's tough. Right, we're going to sit down slowly, super slow. Down, 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 down. Lovely. Let's hip walk forwards. And I know if some of you have long legs, it's harder to get up and you need that momentum. So feel free to do whatever works for you. But if you can, kind of start slowly. You're really working those muscles that we need to keep you being able to stand up and sit down Lovely. Step back. This time we're going to sit down. We're going to aim to sit down, but we're not. We're going to come up to standing, and then we're going to sit down all the way back. So these are things you can practice at home. You get out of your chair how many times a day? You stand up and you sit down how many times a day? So you can practice this at home. This is one of those movements that will make your muscles stronger, much stronger. And these are the key muscles we need to stand up and sit down. So repeating it is great. How are we doing? Do we need to go over a bit? Or do you think people need to go? Grab a band. If you haven't got a band, I know one of you sent me a message and I will send that out. We just need to get some envelopes. Grab a band and let's do some work with, I won't do your ankles because I think we've done a lot of feet. I was going to do ankles, but I'm changing my mind. So let's do this one. Shoulder mobility. So take your arms to the ends of your bands. Can you lift up without going over your head? Can you take that band over? You might not be able to. Can you just take your arms up and then down? So the wider, the easier it is on your shoulders. Just up and add in a little bit of a press away. Up and down. And if you can, take your arms over. Some of you might not be able to, and actually, if I'm quite narrow, I can't do it. If I'm a lot wider, I can. So it's the difference of this movement and then this movement, which is a bigger movement. So just a little up and down or over. Shoulder mobility. Lovely. Okay. Then we're going to take one hand forwards. So hold on, palm down. This arm's going to stay nice and long. This hand is going to hold the band about halfway. And I'm going to send my elbow back and keep this front hand there and release slowly. Pull back. Keep that wrist nice and straight. Grip onto that band with all of your fingers. Pull back and a pull back. Oh, it's like a diagonal movement. Pull back and a pull back. Lovely. If you don't want to do it with the band, drop the band. Let's swap sides. So this hand, thumb's kind of pointing up, grips the band. This hand takes it about halfway or further away if it's too hard. These new bands are quite tough. Elbow leads, pull back. Slowly let go. Pull back. And it's like a push-pull movement. Push-pull. Push. And sitting upright engages the core as well. So like a full upper body workout. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And a press. And then drop down. Lovely. Let's roll, lift those shoulders. Excellent. And then we'll just, I think I've worked you quite hard today. Let's get rid of the band. Let's go straight into flexibility. I know some of you need to leave at 11:30, so we'll tie it up as normal. So we're going to take one hand. So lots of arm movements to the same shoulder. Lift the elbow. And just give it a nudge. Lift through the chest. Breathe. Smile. Feet are nice and wide and maybe forwards. If you can, take that hand up. And then over your head, which is why you need wide feet. Over your head, whichever way that might be. That's it, over your head. Excellent. Come forwards and out of that lovely stretch. Other hand onto the shoulder. Lift the elbow, walk the fingers down towards the shoulder blades. And then give it a nudge back. Lift through the chest. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. And then lift that arm up if you can. And then over your head. Ooh. So trying to lift that arm kind of so it's to the side of your ear rather than forward. So we're trying to stretch the side of the into the side seam, into the side of the body, and then forwards and out. Ooh. Okay. Rounding the spine, dropping the chin to chest, hands just rest over the knees, and then pull the belly in as if you're trying to squeeze the belly towards the back of the chair. Just for a little spine release, lower back release. And sometimes when we've been sitting upright and we're not used to that, it can feel like you've been arching your back for quite a while. So it's nice to just stretch out a little bit and then come up to a seated position. Hands come to the back of the chair or lower spine. Squeeze the elbows towards each other and then just lift the chin a little bit. Breathe in and out. And then let's come to legs. So one leg comes away, nice and long, straight leg. So you need to be at the front third of your chair. If your knee's bent, you're not going to stretch the back of that leg. Hands on the other thigh. Make sure that foot's forwards to support you. And lean from the hips. And feel a stretch. So your toes should be pointing up to the ceiling. If they're pointing out, you're not going to stretch the back of your leg. So try and bring those toes in so they're kind of pointing upright. And then sit up, keep the foot there, relax it off, and then squeeze the toes up towards the knee. And then swap legs. So nice long leg. Got an itchy foot. And then walk the toes out of the other leg, hands on the thigh, above the knee, just lean forwards. Think long neck, neutral neck. Think about your spine. Breathe. Toes are up to the ceiling. And then sit up. Relax the toes. Let's squeeze them up to the knee then, towards the knee. Oh, lovely. Then bring those feet in. And then take them wide. Okay, little bit of movement patterns. So we're going to just bring the hands together and out. Drop them down. Hands together and out. And relax the shoulders. Drop them down. Hands together and drop them down. Hands together, palms up. And let's go again. Breathe. Get your breathing to be nice and regular. You're still on the front third of your chair. You're sitting upright. Your back is away from the chair. So you're in self-supporting spine. Lovely. This time we're going to bring the palms together and open out to the diagonal and drop down. Then we're going to go the other way. So opposite hand out to the diagonal. Lovely. Brushes together. Pushes away. Brushes together. Fingers and then the heels open. Fingers together, heels and open. And let's just go a couple more times, few more times. Open and open. Last one. Open and open. Lovely. We're going to come into a high V. So open, feet are wide, hinge forwards, and then lift and drop. Okay, open to a high V. Keep breathing, hinge forwards, lift and drop. Last one, up to a high V, hinge forwards, lift up and drop. Let's come into that lovely cloud that we're practicing. So just to the side slightly. Don't overstretch. And you're taking your eye gaze to the center of that palm. So it needs to be in front of your face at eye gaze level. Slow it down slowly. Both hands go in the same direction. So just watch if you haven't quite got it. Both hands come to the same direction. At the side, one lifts and one drops. Lovely. Slowly. This is slower than a slow thing. This is to calm your breathing. Bring calm and relaxation to your body. So we don't want to be frantic. It should match your breath really. So deep breath in. And then a long breath out. Lovely, and again. And then bring the fingertips together, lift them to eye gaze height only, and then drop. Press down as if you're pressing through treacle. Lifting, pressing down, and lifting, pressing down, hands on your thighs. Just 2 minutes of breathing. Relaxation. So if you want to sit back in your chairs, full back rest, feel free to do so. Close your eyes and just focus on that breath in through the nose and a breath out through the mouth. And this can be all it takes for you to just relax. Know that taking a few deep breaths in and out can reset your body. Taking a few moments for yourself, just not doing anything except breathing, resting and recovering. And then just feel that temperature of the breath of the air as you breathe in through your nose. And feel the difference as you breathe out. Feels warmer. And just notice that that's what your body does to the air. Your bodies are amazing things. And we need to be grateful to our bodies for the things that they allow us to do. And we can get frustrated and annoyed, but you know, we can work on our bodies. We can work on movement patterns. We can work on stretches, flexibility, strength and balance. And only we can do that for ourselves. And sometimes it really helps to set yourself a goal. And it doesn't have to be a huge goal. It could be, I just want to walk a little bit further, or I want to walk in a better position, with a better posture. I want to walk further. I want to be able to sit and stand better for longer. Anything that reflects what you need to do, and it might be strength, it might be balance, it might be confidence. Whatever you need to do, and if it helps you to share, send us a message. We know that if we have a goal, we're more likely to work towards it. And it might be just 2 minutes of exercise every day for now. Building up to a couple more. Or saying I'll do 10 of these today for a week, and then next week I'll do 12. Something that you can achieve, that you know you can do. And then you can give yourself a big pat on the back when you've done it. So just starting to move your fingers, your toes. Having a stretch if you need to, and then just hip walk into the front of your chairs. Opening your eyes, rolling through your shoulders, your wrists, and coming into just a heel lift to wake up your body. And give yourself a round of applause for joining in again. Well done. Let us know how you get on. Send us an email and we'll be in touch with you. See you next week for more of the same.